Hi, I'm Frank Principe, Woodbridge representative on the Prince William Board of County Supervisors. Recently, the United States Coast Guard had decided to close Neabsco Creek by removing the navigational aids boaters use to go in and out of the three marinas on the creek. As a result, safety has become a large concern for boaters in and out of this area. As well, it'll have a negative impact on the three marina owners and the other businesses that rely on the creek for their income. In addition, our fire department operates a rescue boat that has been parked now and unable to get in and out of the channel as well, impacting 911 calls. As a result, we have hosted a dialogue and a series of meetings with stakeholders, including the United States Coast Guard and the Corps of Engineers, that has resulted in a new survey being planned for April 16th by the Army Corps of Engineers, and a request to the Coast Guard to reconsider their decision and reopen the creek. But long term, we as a community are going to have to identify a way to fund the dredging of this creek so that we can get back to the 5-foot depths that existed years ago. We have between 800 and 1,000 boat owners who take their boats in and out of this marina, park their boats in slips or dry dock storage that are going to be impacted if the Coast Guard does not decide to reopen the marina. And that will cause a negative impact on our quality of life and hurt the outdoor recreational amenity that we have here that we've grown to love over many, many years.
Terry Hill. I'm the owner of Hampton's Landing Marina on Neabsco Creek, one of the three marinas here on the creek, home to close to 1,000 boats that operate out of Prince William County. This is one of the few water access areas in the county. It's actually very close to the Potomac River and easy access right on the backside of Leesylvania. This creek is a very shallow creek, and it is constantly silting in from years and years of development upstream. We have had to dredge over the years. In 1998, the creek was dredged by the Corps of Engineers. At this point, they don't have the money to do any maintenance work on the channel, so we're looking for funding to try to open this channel back up and provide maintenance dredging for it. Without that, this will shut down the creek. It'll shut down the businesses that are here, and it'll take away all of the access that the county residents have to get out on the water and enjoy their weekends. Leesylvania State Park has had high volumes of traffic in the last few years, so much so that they've actually had to close the park down. We take the overflow, those boats coming in on trailers and people wanting to get out and kayak and paddleboard and use our boat rentals. It gives them another access point and another way to relieve the strain on the park. This creek is home to a lot of larger boats too, so if you had a boat that wasn't on a trailer, it's 30-foot, 40 or 50-foot boat, this is where you'd have to keep it in one of the marinas in the area and store it. So there's a lot of boats in the area that do not have access to be hauled out or to get services done, to buy fuel. One of the only 24-hour fuel facilities on the Potomac River from DC is right here at Easy Cruise Marina next door. That access will be greatly diminished if we allow this channel to silt in and we can't keep it properly marked. When storms come through, this is a port, this is a shelter. And a lot of people bring their boats here and have them hauled out, or they store them in our slips, because we aren't as subject to the winds and some of the effects of the storms as are other areas in the county or in the region. So it's a great place to come for a safe haven.
My name's Paul. I have my boat here at Hampton's Landing, and had a boat here on Neabsco for the last few years. My family and I would come out, spend the majority of our summer out here on the river, and we consider our mini vacations. So we come out and just enjoy a full weekend, and we hit the local river bars, and we hang out here and support the local community. We live here in Prince William County and try to support our local businesses. The creek is very accessible. The reason we moved here is it is accessible. It doesn't take us 20 minutes to get to the main body of the river. We're also very close to Quantico from here, which is very convenient. we plan to stay here and stay around, and this is a huge part of our lives. We spend from early spring to early fall out on the boat. We have several neighbors that join us and have boats here as well, amongst the hundreds of boats that rely on the access in and out of here.
Hey, my name is Jim McAlister. I'm the chief of the Aquan Woodbridge Lorton Volunteer Fire Department, and today we're here to talk about the issues going on with the Neabsco Creek, and moreover the dredging or lack of dredging on the channel coming into the Neabsco Creek. Right now, our primary concern from a fire department perspective is twofold. Number one, we've already got another fireboat that sits north of here, so this is a primary location for this fireboat. So moving it's not really an option because it puts our resources too close together and takes them out of response time and response area for the majority of our call volume, which turns out to be the State Park, Leesylvania State Park, and Timms River Shore area of our county. The other problem is our boat, as you can see behind me, our boat's sitting out of the water on a lift. If we were to move the boat, we would have to put the boat in the water. It's a pretty good expenditure to try to put the boat back in the water year-round with adding bottom paint to it and so forth. That also slows our response time down on the boat, reduces our speed by about 4 knots if we were to add the bottom paint to it. So our issues are twofold. Number one, trying to safely egress and exit the marina here with the creek. They've put danger signs out there, and many of our operators are licensed captains, and that puts us in a predicament. With the danger signs sitting out there, being a licensed captain, if I choose to ignore those danger signs and proceed past them, and let's say I'm just at idle and I run aground and somebody trips and falls down at the same time, it puts me into a different predicament than most mariners. Most mariners in here are not licensed, however we are. And with that said, that requires an investigation on any type of incident that we have on the river by the U.S. Coast Guard. We've been through this before, unfortunately, with an incident that we had in the early 2000s with an unlit marker, and this has brought back those same fears. Now, thankfully, the Coast Guard listened to our pleas, and they did put a light back on the outer marker at this point. It's not the normal navigation light, but there is a light on there so that we do have some warning of the marker. Our response times, because right now with the danger signs out there, all of us are required to, if we're going to run this boat out through there, we'll have to run it at an idle speed. And at idle speed, that's going to reduce our response time tremendously. In the past, we were able to respond out of the marina at idle speed or in a no-wake type of response. And then as soon as we hit the railroad trestle, we were able to pick our speed up to a normal operating speed and be on the scene in a matter of minutes. However, in the current situation with the danger shoaling sign, it will require us to remain at an idle speed until we pass the outer set of markers 1 and 2 on the Neabsco, which is probably about another 5 to 6 minute response to anything that we're going to respond to out of this marina. So the question is, why are we here today? And I really hate to say this. On one hand, I'm thanking the Coast Guard for looking out for our safety, but on the other hand, I'm looking at our federal government and saying you failed us. The channel coming into the Neabsco Creek is a federal waterway. It was put in by the feds and is a requirement. They have to maintain that, meaning they have to dredge it and take care of it through its lifespan. It's still listed as a federal waterway. Therefore, the U.S. or the Army Corps of Engineers has a responsibility by federal regulation to dredge and maintain that waterway. So the reason we're here today is because quite frankly, the Army Corps of Engineers has not done that work. Now, in their defense, they say that they have not received any funding to be able to do that here and in many places around the country. So the message I think we need to send out to our citizens is this is due to our federal government and our infrastructure issues that you hear almost daily in the news around the country. And here it is affecting us locally as much as, and even with a fireboat trying to respond on calls here in the Prince William County or the DMV area.